super close coming off of turn 4. Scott Dixon wants that lead lap.
Yeah, the more you do this, you're oh! Just like I said, the more you start fooling around and racing each other, that's what happens.
Carpenter and Dixon touch. Dixon is into the wall, and there's that Castroneves that came by and just clipped him.
I thought that might be Gabby Chavez that clipped Dixon. We'll have to see it again, but Scott Dixon, I'm going to say that there was a little bob and weave between those two guys. I'm sure Carpenter didn't appreciate how hard Dixon was racing him.
I would say, I would question that whether that could have been Ed's fault, an avoidable contact penalty. Because they were on the straightaway and it was like Ed moved over and they touched wheels. So that could be an avoidable contact. He's mad. I'd be mad too.
And the frustration continues to mount for Scott Dixon.
Well, we'll have to see this again. You're talking about a guy that's a lap down, trying to race second place, who's in contention for a win. And so many times on the tri-oval, because it's not a straightaway, you can see a difference of opinion on track position and who's right away.
Well, we're going to have a race now if there's no penalties involved here for Ed.
Well, here's the thing, Paul. You've got Castroneves, Kanaan, and Rahal, the only other cars on the lead lap. One of these guys is going to stop for tires, I would think, and see if they can be strong to the finish, because it'll take 5 laps to clean up this yellow.
Yeah, it's going to take a little bit. If I was sitting anywhere behind those guys, I'd take tires, but look at this.
Coming through the tri-oval.
Just kind of moved over a little. Looked like Ed just kind of cut the lane. And I mean, we see guys run 2, 3 wide through there all the time, so there's plenty of room to do it. That's not an accident that you see very often. So watch here from an overhead.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
it looks to me like Dixon moved up.
It looked like Dixon. You're right. It looked like Dixon got into the back of Ed. So I'm in the wrong here. I think.
Wait a second. Can we say that one more time?
I'm in the wrong here.
Does anybody
I agree with you. I think Dixon moved up the lane and caught that back bumper.
That is Helio Castroneves. Robin?
Boys, Ed Carpenter said, what's he mad about? He ran into me.
I tend to agree with Ed.
Well, the question
That car behind them.
Guys, Tony Kanaan has moved up to second in a big crash.
Like I told you. And who is that? It's Rossi? Is that Rossi?
No, that's Ed. That's Ed Carpenter.
Yep.
And that's Max Chilton from behind. Spun, trying to avoid. And Ed Carpenter's chance to win ends up in the fence.
What a tough year it's been for Ed Carpenter. It's good to see him get out under his own power there. And he's furious.
Yep. Rips the radio cord out. He's going to walk off. He's got that retro helmet. It says Ed on the side. He waves to the crowd. But can't be happy. That's pretty much the end of the year now for him.
Huge break for Mikhail Aloshin. He just got onto the lead lap. He is still on the lead lap. He'll have a chance to pit Paul for fresh tires. We could see the Russian Rocket make a late charge.
What we're going to have now is I think everybody's going to take tires again. So it's going to be a pit stop. It's going to be a pit stop race on pit road. And any of the mechanics make a little mistake and you come in like Hinch. Oh, we got damage to Castroneves' car. So he must have touched with Ed. And that's going to be a problem because you're going to have to change that whole back wing section.
So now remember earlier, Carpenter clashed with Scott Dixon, so they may have a chance to visit before this one settles in. Let's take a look at what happened here. That's Graham Rahal on the low side, Castroneves coming up behind the Fuzzies, green and gold car.
Yeah, he got loose, stepped up, and Castroneves
right rear went down.
Nowhere to go.
The right rear for Ed Carpenter, it looks like, went down.
And Elio took pretty good contact, front and rear, for Castroneves. That's on board Simon Pagenaud.
Yeah, it's wiggling.
And I wonder if the tire went down from the contact from Castroneves. But either way, Carpenter, look at the right rear, guys. It's already down there. I don't know that it would have been cut by Castroneves with the pod in the way. So.
Well, it was certainly wiggling for quite a ways. It was loose. He caught it like 3 times during the corner. So possibility he could have had a puncture, was losing air pressure. Look like Castroneves, Jan, he's putting a wing on now.
Yes, they're trying to change the rear section, but he obviously has damage at the front as well. They're going to change the nose here. What they can do sometimes, you can do half of the repair, then do a lap, make sure you don't go a lap down, and then continue it. They have a tether now that, of course, is 4 super speedways. That takes a little bit longer when you're making this nose change. They're looking over their shoulder, making sure the pace car isn't coming. They don't want to lose a lap, but I think that Castro Neves has more than just exterior damage. It'll be a miracle if this car still handles well.
So one thing I'm realizing here, guys, upper right.
Lead, dealing with the lap car of Simon Pagenaud, and we have a yellow.
Oh, a lotion.
And Hawksworth, a lotion, was back on the lead lap, and we wanted to see him try to make his way through, but he won't get the chance, and Max Chilton also has had to come through the grass.
Max Chilton's had 2 spins through the grass, avoiding wrecks and no damage. That's good luck for him, but both of these cars are demolished. Alotion's rear wheel is completely gone. The front wheel completely gone on Hawksworth.
Miserable season for Jack Hawksworth continues. Void of results this year. We'll wait and see what happened out of this. And great to see Jack climbing out, and also Michaela Lotion looking good as he climbs out.
Well, here we go. Strategy time. Do you take tires or not tires? We've only got 4 cars now on the lead lap. Hawksworth is a little bit ginger with his knee, something going on. He was slow to get out of the car, so a hard hit on the front of the car with that Johnny Rutherford retro helmet.
Let's try to figure out what happened here between Hawksworth and Alotion. Alotion again, chance at a top 5. You see him further back, red, white, and blue car on the high side. I'm gonna imagine there.
That's Alotion just coming in his
right
screen,
there.
and
He loses it.
Yeah, nowhere for Hawksworth to go. Lotion lost it, and boom, right into the side and head on into the wall. It was a hard hit. Very similar to the crash that Connor had with Newgarden. Very similar, but luckily these guys walked away from this one.
Hawksworth was just an innocent bystander coming through at the end, and Chilton had to go through the grass to avoid him. Robin?
All right, the good news is I walked to the hospital with Ed Carpenter. He's fine physically. I think emotionally he's pretty mad because he had a hell of a race car.
I did. You know, it's been one of those years. You know, super thankful for Fuzzy's Vodka Chevrolet, our whole Ed Carpenter racing team for allowing us to do this. You know, we've had a rough year with the 20 car, at least on the ovals, and I thought tonight was going to finally be one where we could get a result. And it just, you know, this just wasn't our year. So not sure exactly what happened.
Here's a shot of it, Ed.
I know Scott was a little upset, but I thought I'd given him room. You know, it's tricky coming through that dog leg. You know, I don't know what I can do there. You know, it's my corner, but, you know, I like Scott. Hopefully he doesn't stay pissed at me, but it sucks. The contact there, you know, I'm pretty sure we cut a tire, and that's what led to the next accident. So just disappointed. It's going to be a long off season before I get to hop back in the car again, but we'll come back strong next year. We've got a great team.
You asked me if it was better than usual. I said it was a hell of a race up until the last couple of laps.
I was having fun. You know, I thought we were going to have a shot at it. You know, I certainly wouldn't have taken Scott out on purpose because Hinch and I didn't need a yellow. It was just the 2 of us racing for the win, and now look what's going on. But, you know, one of those things. We've got 2 races left. We'll see what we can do with Joseph Newgarden in the 21 car and Spencer in the 20, and end on high note.
All right, thanks, Ed. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, we've got at least one more restart coming with just a little more than 10 laps or so.
Really ahead there. He needs a little help of a push here from Pagenaud as they go too wide. This is very old style Texas racing here. It's going to be whoever can get by a nose. Kanan is the leader by a nose there on that lap.
3 to go. Castro Neves has lost momentum. He is a 2.5 seconds back, so it is a 4-car race.
You got 3 guys.
Whoa! In the warm-up.
Graham Rahal all over the place. 3 guys that only care about a race win, and Simon Pagenaud trying to protect the points.
Kanan has a nose ahead through the corner. Hinchcliffe beats him to the line.
Under 2 to go. The 3 up front haven't won all season. The championship leader is in 4th. Kanan down to the low side. Hinchcliffe is way up high with Rahal pushing it. Rahal looks to the outside, and here comes Pagenaud again back into the mix.
This is going to get really, really close. These guys are
White
almost
flag.
wrecking. Last lap.
1.5 miles to go. Hinchcliffe is still in front. Rahal behind him, edging just in front of Kanaan. Here's Pagano. Those four on the lead lap, racing for the win. Rahal down to the bottom. Rahal to the front around. Graham Rahal has taken the lead on the final lap. Can Hinchcliffe battle back? Kanaan still in the mix. Rahal and Hinchcliffe to the line. Graham Rahal has won at Texas Motor Speedway on the last lap pass of James Hinchcliffe.
Graham Rahal started to celebrate, but Hinchcliffe was right there. 0.008 of a second. I felt like Graham had his hand up a little too early, but he just held on. What a finish.
He did the perfect over-under. He worked the high side, and when the door opened up on the bottom, he cut to the bottom and sliced inside of Hinchcliffe and beat him by literally a hair. And that was it.
That was old school Texas Motor Speedway racing tonight. The top three separated by less than 1/100th of a second.
Graham Rahal just sliced them up like a what?
Like a ninja.
Like a ninja. That was awesome.
And he called his shot. If you didn't join us before the race, we had the radio after the final practice. He said, "This is a rocket ship and we are going to the front."
He did it right here. He did the over-under. He was on the high side right here, and as they came down the back straight, we got a big toe here, and he, instead of going for the high side, he sliced to the bottom right here, and then pushed Hinchcliffe up the track. And as they came off of turn 4, Hinchcliffe started to get the run again with the draft, coming onto the straight, and he just moves him up the track, and he's already celebrating, but it's not over.
Oh my.
Look at how close that was. I told you, Graham, you put that hand up, you pick up about 5 pounds of drag. He almost lost that thing by celebrating too soon.
Is he doing his own version of Usain Bolt? Wants to look over at the guy in the other lane?
Well, I promise you there was a smile on his face just like Bolt. Let's have another look at how close this finish was. Here you go.
Wow.
That's close.
0.008.
And it's got to be frustrating for Hinchcliffe to come that close after such an incredible car. Look, he just can't believe it. He said, how did we lose that one?
James Hinchcliffe led 188 laps in this race, spanning over 2.5 months. Graham Rahal led how many?
One.
One.
He led for literally 100 yards.
Yep. Oh, you feel for Hinchcliffe. What a run for him tonight. What a show. Indycar.
És 100 fölfele. 100 fölfele, jobb 2 tempó, 20-ra bal 2 tempó, 25-ra bal 2 tempó, 25-re bal 2 szűk, bal 2 szűk, és bal 2, és bal 2, majd 50-re jobb 2, itt a bal 2, és 50-re jobb 2, jobb 2, majd szűk 50-re jobb 3 az aszfaltra. Szűk 50-re jobb 3 az aszfaltra.